I felt it was really important. I was probably 18 or 19. So while I was modeling, I was also in Botech while I was taking college prep courses because my father was still very intent on me doing something with computers because he's an electrical engineer. And I was sort of doing that to make him happy, although I knew that I wasn't wired for that. So that's where Mom came in. But yes, I was about 18, so I was doing that at the same time. And then I had the ability to sort of go either way. It's a huge accomplishment. Whenever you get a certificate of any kind, or a license, or degree, it's important. You're welcome.
Another question?
This is for either one. Is there anything that you regret or just wish that you could have done over?
Where do I start?
I'll just answer quickly. That was a really good question. I think it was already on here. I don't regret anything because I just feel that all those experiences, whether they're good or bad, bring you to where you are today. And my husband's line is, whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And I believe in that. So I've made bad decisions, but I don't regret any of it.
I would say don't beat yourself too hard. Beat yourself up too hard over things as well. Every day's a new day, so as long as you're doing your best and putting forth your 110%, what more can you do than that? So if you keep it going like that, you'll just feel good about what you're doing, and you'll just continue on with it.
You're going to make mistakes.
Yes.
And learn from them.
Learn from the mistakes, move on. I think that was an excellent point.
Like there's a famous saying, if you don't make mistakes, you are not taking enough risks.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right. Any other questions?
And just a quick question for both of you. At what point do you want to stop working, just let the money come in and do whatever you want to do, travel? I mean, that's a successful business. And then once you do that, maybe follow something else. So at what point do you feel like you just want to stop owning and just start doing whatever you want to do? Not really retirement, but just something else.
I'd like to start that today. I mean, seriously, I know for myself, let's say I would land $2 million in contracts tomorrow. I'm not the person that would start working. So even if I would have all the money, I still need to do something to keep myself busy at the time. So entrepreneurship, starting a business, making money, is almost like a hobby in a sense. Like you're going to love it and want to do it. So you're going to hunt it down in some other way, shape, or form. If you sell your business and you have get all that money, you're probably just going to invest it and just keep doing it because it's something that'll just be ingrained in your blood.
I'm living that life now, I feel. I've actually have enough people. We just changed our structure. A lot of what Bryan was talking about is so important because we've restructured our company now about, like 4 times. And I adopted a child, a baby about a year ago. And I had to leave my business literally in like a week because they don't give you a lot of time. You wait forever and it's like you have 4 days to leave the country. So we were in the middle of that restructuring and I had to keep it all secret because I didn't want everybody to know because I didn't know how it was going to work out. So I was in the middle of restructuring that there were managers and leads in each department and sort of grooming everybody so that when I exited, that I was able to be out for a little while because I had to, be home more, which was hard for me to grasp. So it was almost the best thing that happened for my company because I was forced to restructure. They were forced to leave, and now that I've been back, I don't want it back. I don't want all that responsibility back. They're doing it. So they grew. They're making more money, and now I'm able to look at other opportunities. And the company is doing excellent. Actually, because I think more so because of that. So to some degree, I was so in my business that I may have been holding it back a little bit. So it's amazing how people do grow when they have to. So I feel that you can live that life, but not necessarily be retired or out of it. And the industry I'm in, I love so much that I'm having a blast doing what I do every day. I love every part of it, really. But I don't have to, I'm not a numbers person either. So I hire an excellent accountant, and I make sure that they tell me what I need to know. If I don't understand something, I'm not embarrassed to ask because they can't cut hair. So I used to feel dumb, and I'm like, well, you can't do what I do. So it's okay to not be brilliant at everything as an entrepreneur. You shouldn't be embarrassed about that,
Other questions?
I know that you mentioned earlier, sometimes you'll probably exhaust the people who are helping you. And this is a question for either of you. How did you manage the people who were helping you maybe when you were getting your business started or facing a lot of challenges and just needed help?
It gets tough. I mean, I started doing this in 1999, and I borrowed money from friends, family, was low on money for a while. My girlfriend paid bills for me. I mean, I worked at a beer distributor part-time during my course of my career. Like, you gotta do to keep it going.
Lots of free haircuts.
Yeah.
Now massages too. Not by me, but by other people. Yeah, you have to really remember the people who helped you get where you are, and always be respectful of that.
You keep your ear to the resources too. Ever-changing world, you never know who you could go meet and talk to that is interested in what you do and can open up some door that you never even knew was there. And the only way you find it is just by going out and meeting other people and being out there. One of the best expressions I ever heard is in the back of the card, it says you must be present to win. When you go to a raffle, well, it's true in the business world. If you want to win, you got to be present. So you got to be there. You're finding opportunities like new funding or new resources or new people, you just got to be out there.
For a business idea competition, they must be there to present, right? Any other questions? Please.
This is for Bryan. When you started, were you more involved with the web design or the marketing aspect? What was your original?
I actually started as a graphic designer, but I kind of identified that there was more money in the web design world, so I went that direction. But to answer your question, it would be marketing. I'm more of a marketer than anything. That's how I got into this, and it just seemed like web design and graphic design would be the cool way to get into that industry and not just be crunching numbers and looking at analysis and data.
This question's for Bryan. Like, do you have, how many employees do you have working for you, or do you do your own stuff, or do you have people working for you?
I actually am the only employee of Mull Consulting, but I employ a whole team of subcontractors. Actually, 2 of them are in this room. Big ups to John and Dale. So, yeah, definitely. But the way I have it structured, I don't run it like a normal agency where I have employees. I actually use people that are specialists at what they do, depending on what the job is.
So what you guys, being an entrepreneur, having a college degree, how much do you think it increases your credibility when it comes to clients?
It's definitely going to help, because having a college degree is going to make sure that you're educated and that you can write properly, speak properly. That all comes majorly into play when it comes to the business world. If you can't communicate properly with your customers or people that you're dealing with, you're never going to be successful in business. So the college is going to give you the foundation and the groundwork. Trust me, if I could go back to that, what was that one question about if you could change anything? I would have liked to go to college so I could get that formal education, but when I got into it, I wanted to learn something specific, and none of the colleges were teaching it back in '97, so I just jumped right in and started working for a place. But having a college degree will come to your advantage, definitely.
I agree with that. I started out with college, and then I actually didn't stick to it because I was doing some other things. I was modeling, and it was just difficult to do it, and my goal was always to go back, but I didn't. But to his point, that probably is a little bit of a regret, because I probably could have figured out a way to do both. And there are certain things, certainly today, that I think are even going to be more challenging if you have a little bit more of that background. Because when we were, well, probably still a little bit different in age, not that much, but I think it was easier in some ways to build businesses, and now I think you guys are going to have some bigger challenges, and to really truly understand economics and get your hands around your arms around what's going on today. I think is gonna require a little bit more education. I mean, I was the jump in with 2 feet person, to be honest. That was me, and then figure it out later. But for me, it worked. You have to be that kind of person. I probably worked harder than I needed to. If I may have been a little smarter earlier, I may have gotten here quicker. Who knows?
I want to answer your question back directly, because I know you're sitting there thinking, should I be going to college or should I just go start my own business? And the answer is,
Yeah.
do both. Start your own business while you're in college. Don't give up one for the other.
Yeah, I
You want
agree.
that college degree. Trust me on that one.
Especially today. You're gonna need it more today than you did before. And when I'm hiring people,
There is no endorsement here, that's straight from the
When
heart.
I'm hiring people, I'm looking for that, because it also shows discipline, commitment. Again, you've got to be present, so if you can't be present to show up how you've prepared for a job and entrepreneurship, it's got to start somewhere. And I think, I agree with that.
Especially here in the US, and unfortunately, and the university structure is a little different. I'm really amazed with, like, we require our students to take 120 credits, and 60 of them are general education courses. So we ask them to be well-rounded students. So
Yeah.
I guess it definitely is. So, any other
I
questions?
just want to piggyback off that question. Would you ever hire experience over like education? Because there's a difference between experience and being qualified. So
Are you thinking of dropping out?
I just served in the
I am not
military.
responsible.
I just got out of the military, so I had a ton of experience, no
Yeah.
education essentially. But
Well, we have to have a certain level of, we can't even hire you unless you have certain certificates or licenses or what have you, unless you're from a different country. We need to work out the training and maybe send you back for a few hours. We've done things like that. I absolutely look at experience a lot in my business, for sure. But I'm in a little bit of a different business. If I were hiring somebody to run my business, operations, financial, I'm looking for a degree and I'm looking for experience. I'm looking for all of it. You know.
In my world, you just have to show me that you can do what you do, and you can be on the team. It doesn't matter if you're 19 or 39. You got to be able. Experience is going to be, at least in my world, if you're coming to the table, you better be experienced. I mean, why are you even showing up if you don't have any work to show? But with that, it comes down to your level of professionalism. That's what I'm looking at when I meet new people: is how do they present themselves? Do they call you back? Do they email you back when they're supposed to? Like, that's so paramount. I mean, yeah, it's a level.
Can they
I'm looking
write?
for professionalism, yes, and can they write properly?
Other questions?
Have you continued your education at all?
Definitely. I always am keeping on top. Well, I have to in my world, because things on the web, like building our websites change all the time. So if you're not on top of it, you're going to become antiquated really fast. So definitely always educating. I kind of put those two with the networking thing. You network and educate yourself at the same time. Yeah.
And absolutely, like I said, I was just training with Orbase, and everything's right. That's my, that part of my world is it's straight from the runway, so it doesn't get any hotter than that as far as files fresh, and then I bring it to my team from that standpoint. And as far as my team's being sent to New York all the time, Miami, in the spa, same thing. They're working with doctors, physicians. My leads all go to 2 or 3 events a year so that they're staying on top of things. Because I can't lead everything. I need the team to bring it back to me. So I know what I'm good at, and I know what I'm not good at. So what I'm not good at, I send the people out to raise the bar and bring it back, and then we teach it to the team. So you have to, and you're just going to be generic, and I'm not in this to be generic, and no, Bryan's not either. And if you're going to do it, do it. Do it right, do it with passion, or don't, because it's not the point. It's you're just going to blend in with the rest. It's just always been my philosophy.
I was wondering, do you have any tips on managing a business in a recession? Like getting a loan, for instance, if you need one, raise your credit score perhaps?
Raise your credit. Well, managing a business in a recession is the #1 thing that I've had to deal with over the past 2 years. I mean, it's without a doubt, it's there. I mean, I go see real business owners all the time. Things aren't doing as well. So you gotta either change or go out of business. So me personally, I found ways to lower my costs but still keep a high quality product. So I mean, that's what it's going to come down to in a recession, is you got to find ways to keep your overhead and your overall expenditures low and still maintain a good product and still make money. So it's tough, trust me, it's very hard.
Yeah, same thing. I have an excellent accountant, so our sales went flat, and we were just talking about it at lunch. And I believe in my people because I feel that my investment is my team and my people. So we didn't want to lay anybody off. And we definitely crunched numbers, and I just said, look, I'm not laying anybody off. So how do we cut back? And we looked at all of our top things that are expensive. We cut back on office supplies. Not everybody needs a new stapler. You'd be amazed at what you spend money on. And when you get sloppy, when your sales are good, you kind of get a little lazy and complacent. So it's actually made us better because of this recession. So you cut back, and you've got to look at your team, and they all have to be entrepreneurs themselves. I mean, I can't keep them if they're not staying productive. The numbers don't come in, I can't keep them. So that was sort of my promise to them. As long as you're helping us to build a business and you're helping to bring business in the door, you will be here. But if you don't, I'm going to have to cut back your hours. So it's really about their productivity as well as us cutting. And we share what we're doing. We just saved like $20,000 on making some changes with insurance and a couple of other things that we were doing. We saved $20,000 this year. So we share that with the team. We're saying this is what we did and what we did.
Other questions? I have one backup question. What would make you late or whatnot? Which biggest challenge?
What keeps us awake? This speech, no. Just teasing. Well, for me, it was when I had to loan $1 million. I had to borrow a little over $1 million to do the business because nobody was giving me money. My husband, they're like, you have to go to the bank and do it yourself. So I did, and that was the most stressful. First stressful day is when I got the building because I kind of went blank. What I do, and then it was how am I going to pay for this? How am I going to do this? And then I had to go get $1 million to renovate it. And it's we're making our payments and we're doing just fine. So.
My answer to that is money.
Yeah.
I mean, that's keeping it. They're not paying invoices, and you can't pay your people, and you've already exhausted all your own bank, and borrowing from Peter to pay Paul, when Peter and Paul are the same person. You know, it doesn't work.
It's hard.